At least a month. Yeah, at least a month.
What does that do for you guys as far as how you try to get through without him?
Yeah, I mean we got DJ Reed who can play corner. We got E-Man, and we also got Brett. So we got three guys who can do it. We know Jimmy can also play corner. So we got other guys on this team who can play it. So it'll be next man up.
Do you look to the trade market? What do you guys?
Yeah, always. We always look at the trade market, and we'll continue to. But it's got to make sense for us.
When you say making sense, what are we talking about as far as the
Uh,
that have to make sense?
how much does it help the team right now, and how much does it help the organization going forward? You always think of now, but you also always don't. You think of years in advance too, and how that affects salary caps, draft picks, things like that. The risk reward on everything.
Is that something that as a head coach you look at more than you would as a position coach?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
What about Jason Barrett? I mean, he was in and then he was quickly out of the game. Does that have any bearing on his status moving forward? Or?
No, it doesn't have any bearing on his status. We've been wanting to get Jason out there. It's been a while since he's played. He had a healthy week of practice, so we had a package in the game for him that we hadn't used up to that time. And then when Spoon went out, it just made sense to get him in there. I know he had the PI, which he kind of got left alone on that post. We usually have a safety in the middle of the field there, so he got in a tough position and got the PI. And then I said in the press conference, I thought it was a double move. It wasn't a double move. Quarterback just looked the other way, and he just got a little bit too relaxed when the quarterback wasn't looking his way. And then he came back, and the guy snuck down the sideline. So, he hadn't played a lot of football, and especially after those two plays, we wanted to get E-Man in, who had played a lot more this year.
How do you move forward as far as determining who your right cornerback is going to be for the Browns game?
It'll be all about practice. We have a number of guys who are candidates for it. E-Man would be the lead guy right now with how he finished that game and came in and what he's done for us this whole year. But we'll give all the other guys a chance too with these practices we'll have before Cleveland.
How do you do that with limited reps and
just evaluate how they're moving, how they go, how they're working in the game plan. And we've seen all of them pretty well, so we got a pretty good idea. But Brett keeps getting better each week, so we'll see how that looks too.
What impresses you about Mosley?
Everything we've asked him to do, he's done at a high level. He first earned his way onto our team by how hard he goes on special teams. He's not the biggest guy, but it doesn't seem like that when he's out there. He plays very physical. He's extremely detailed in everything he does. Everything you give him, even stuff that's new for him, within a few days he always figures it out. So he's very football savvy and has the ability to cover.
What are you going to do at long snapper with Kondo retiring now?
We have someone coming in tonight, and we'll have someone signed by tomorrow.
Not Colin?
No.
Obviously, you didn't expect Kondo to retire. What was the situation there?
He said his heart wasn't in it, so definitely was surprised us. He did a real good job for us in the game, had a good week of practice. But I do appreciate him coming and telling us what was in his head. And I have a lot of respect for that. Sometimes it's hard for guys to do. He was honest with himself. He knew his heart really wasn't in it. And then he was honest with us. He just said he knows his heart's not in it and he doesn't want to end up letting us down, whether it's next week or a few weeks in advance. So I was very appreciative for him coming and telling us that right away, and that'll give us a chance to replace him.
You have a bye week this early in the season. Do you approach it differently than it is when it's later in the season? Guys maybe need more time off, or what's the approach?
No, I'm approaching it a little differently than I have the last couple of years just because I don't like how we played coming back versus Tampa last year. So I'm trying to get some extra practices in. The one thing that's different for us this week than what we've had is we're coming back. Our game after the bye week is a Monday night game, so we get an extra game there anyway. So our goal is to get 3 extra practices in that we didn't last year, 3 more than last year. We'll get 1 in tomorrow, and then we'll get the Monday and Tuesday when we come back.
So after tomorrow, they're gone?
Yep.
And what do you guys do? What do the coaches do?
We sit here and review a few things. We know we're gonna have Cleveland on a long week with extra time, but then the following week we got the Rams on a short week coming off Monday night game, so we can get some of our busy work for that, get ahead on it a little bit. So the 6-day week for them isn't so bad.
As you went over the film, aside from the turnovers yesterday, what did you like about how Jimmy played?
I mean, he was under duress and he hung in there. He made some big time throws. We missed the safety one time where we should have had it, and he didn't hesitate. He didn't flinch. He hung in there and took the shot and made a hell of a throw, and then also got the penalty with it. And then we had a number of hots in the game where we had to get rid of it, and he hung in there and got rid of it and threw good balls. So they came after him a ton, and he answered.
In the locker room, you said something to the effect of that was as good when you've been a part of. You mean just as a head coach, your football career, and why was that?
I'm just stuck. I mean, I haven't been. I don't think I've ever been a part of a win with 5 turnovers that you win. So I was. That was impressive that we were able to win that, not the 5 turnovers. But it's just. I think a lot of people who have been in this league a while haven't been a part of too many wins like that. And I think it takes a lot of resilience from all 3 phases of our guys. I mean, they just kept going after them, and 4 turnovers in the first half was extremely discouraging. But when it was 6-3, you felt good coming out. And just the way the defense was responding and talking, I mean, they were so upbeat at halftime, and just their confidence level was huge. And they got a turnover right in the third quarter in that first drive that got the offense going a little bit. And then to finally get our rhythm and then to go down and fumble there at the end in the red zone, that was kind of crushing, to where it's like, man, you do that with 5 minutes left in the game. It was hard enough to overcome this first half, but then to do that was, it's almost the writing on the wall. And the defense to step it up, get the ball right back, and to be able to run 4 minutes off the clock, on the 25-yard line going in, just running the ball and doing well. It was a cool victory that there was just a ton of adversity in the game, and all 3 phases did things that we needed each other to do to win the game.
Do you get more satisfaction out of a game where you play not well all the way around and you face adversity, rather than a game where you're rolling from start to finish?
Definitely, yeah. I got a lot more satisfaction out of the Tampa one and that one, just because those are the ones that are really tough. I mean, the Cincinnati game was a little make-believe to me. I mean, it wasn't make-believe. The guys earned it, and it was well. But, I mean, you should win when things are going like that. And but the rest of the NFL, I mean, there's so many plays in a game that are the difference between winning and losing. And I felt like there were 75 of them during that game, which is extremely intense for both sides. And to be able to handle that throughout, and to be able to be in an intense game like that throughout from beginning to end, and guys never waver. When you lose a lot, which we have over the last few years, losing can be contagious, and even though you want to block it out, that's somewhere in there like, hey, we can't let this happen again. And when bad things happen, that feeling does come up. I thought what's obvious with our team, which I feel just watching them and being around them, it's the opposite feeling. When the worse it's going, the more the guys still believe that we're going to win. And I think that's been evident, especially in those 2 weeks that I mentioned. And that's something that's extremely important to teams who want to win and win enough games to get in the playoffs.
A psychological thing for the guys, or is it the fact that they know there's more talent around them and they have the guys who can sort of overcome that?
It's both, it's both. You gotta believe, and there's lots of things that make you believe. You got to believe that you're good enough, and I think we've added some guys that definitely help. And I think guys that have played here know that they're good enough. They've been in a lot of situations. So I feel like the guys are getting better, and that's the confidence that helps you believe in yourself.
Where's Tevin Coleman in his return from his ankle?
I think he's got a good chance to come back next week. I mean, he was just jogging and moving pretty well last week, just watching him run on the side. So, I mean, he won't be out there tomorrow, but hopefully we'll get him practice here next Monday.
You've gotten good production out of your 3 reserve running backs. I mean, when Coleman comes back, does that create a untenable situation with 4?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty tough to use 4 backs throughout a game, but that's a problem I'm looking forward to having to try to figure out.
Has Jeff Wilson Jr. added a dimension to your red zone offense?
I mean, I think he's ran the ball very well in the red zone. I think we've blocked pretty well down there too. I think that's, I think he's been more of our north and south downhill runner. I think Tevin's very similar to that also, and I think at times Raheem and Breida can do that. So we're willing to use all of them, but what we've asked Jeff to do in these 2 weeks, he has done very well.
You've been known for using a lot of 21 personnel in the past. It seems like you're getting a lot of mileage out of 22 personnel this year. What do you like about that particular unit grouping?
I mean, I can't tell you all the things, but we do use that a lot in the past. we've used 22 and also what we call 13. That's just a tight end playing juice a spot. So something that we do a lot. Teams don't do a lot out of that schematically, so somebody's going to slow down the game a little bit for what you're attacking. And when you're running the ball well, the edges are a lot wider when you have tight ends in there. So guys are further away, and you make people commit to the run, and sometimes that opens up some good passes too.
Mostert in the past has had fumbling issues. He had another one, he got a pitch. Where's your, I guess, trust with him, as far as just keep hold on the ball?
He's built up some trust, and what from where he went last year to what he's done since then. But yeah, it was tough. You got to keep your eyes on it on the pitch. That was just kind of a lackadaisical play, for lack of a better word. No one took it away from him. He just took his eyes off the pitch and looked at the defense, which can't happen. And the next one was one of our best block plays of the day. He got right through to the safety, and it looked like he was covering up the ball well, but it looked like Minka, got his helmet on the ball and popped it out, and it can't happen. So now whether it's Raheem or whether it's anybody, you fumble the ball too much, and you're not going to give him any more opportunities. But Raheem's done well with it. He's improved from the past. He does a hell of a job for us as a running back, but he's got to make sure he holds onto the ball.
After watching the
Without
film, what did
his
you
diving catch and the stiff arm, was that Kyle Juszczyk's best game?
It was I think it was. Just one that everyone's going to notice, definitely, because the plays he made in the pass game were very impressive. The diving catch, I thought there was no way he was getting to that, and somehow he did. And then the one he made on down the seam, where throwing the safety out of the way and stuff. Those were two extremely impressive plays, and he played better in the run game. So, he was one of our best players in the run game. He does that a lot. But when he makes some plays like that in the pass game, I think he gets a little bit more credit, and it's deserved.
How is Jalen Hurd progressing, and do you still expect him back in Week 5?
Yeah, I do expect him back. This will be a big week for him with rehab and stuff while we're gone. But yeah, I'm hoping he'll be back next Monday, and I'm expecting him to.
What is the issue that he's dealing with exactly with the back?
He had a fracture in his back. Is that what it's called? A hairline deal. Yeah, so it's been a serious injury. That's why he had to rest it for about a month, and we're getting close to here where he should be ready to go. So hopefully it'll work out right for him. You never know when they come back out if that can act up again, but we feel it's healing up, and hopefully he'll be able to come out here and help us.
A couple more?
How do you evaluate school's play yesterday?
I thought school did a very good job. I know those penalties were rough, all three of them, ones that can't happen. But for his first game, it wasn't too big for him at all. He handled the game well. The only time I really said his name was when he got the penalties, and he definitely gave us a good chance to win.
Go ahead.
Witherspoon is obviously, taking a pretty good step, really good. Just personally for him, how tough is it to have kind of that momentum have to stop for this month?
That's the challenges of the sport. But yeah, I felt real bad for him because you're right. He's been playing at a high level. He's been covering very well. And he's been playing very physical too. I thought yesterday was probably the most physical game I've seen him have. He was making tackles, throwing his body around, and he's been covering very well all year. So it is unfortunate for him, but these setbacks do happen in this league. It's part of football, and he'll work to get back. And when he comes back, we expect him to be right where he was when he left off.
The team is 3-0, but the offense has committed 8 turnovers in 3 games. Is that a concern? And if so, what do you do to correct that?
It's always a concern. It's hard to win when you turn the ball over, and especially when you're down 5-2. The good thing about it, and the reason we did win, is because the points off of it, they had 6 and we had 14. So you can get by when you're doing that, but we know that's not built to last. We got to be smarter with the ball. The 2 interceptions, aren't throws that I want the quarterback to take back. We got to catch those. He can make maybe a little better of a throw, but those are just unfortunate ones. We got to catch better, and the fumbled snap was unfortunate. We always work on that and talk about it, but we definitely got to fix that stuff.
In terms of defense, Kyle, when you watch them, is it more enjoyable now and less stressful than it's been the last couple of years?
Yes. Yeah, it's fun. It was stressful to go against all summer. It was very hard on us, but I think it made us better offensively. But I think Saul and the staff, they've always done a real good job with their coverages and stuff and being sound and things like that, which always makes people work pretty hard to go down the field on them. And just adding in some of these different elements of the pass rushers and bringing Quan in and stuff like that, and the guys who have been here just taking a step forward. They've been tough to go against for us all summer, but I'm having a lot of fun watching other people have to deal with it. All right, guys. Thanks.